So it's pretty clear that there's no if, ands, or buts about it. This is what blood in the streets looks like. Now, you've heard the famous saying, when there's blood in the streets, buy, even if it's your blood. Now, the question is, it's hardest to buy when these kind of things happen because you don't know, is this the bottom? Is it going to keep going down? The truth is, we don't know the answer to that. We're bouncing right now at a major line with Bitcoin, but it could drop from here. Will it? I don't know. And if it does, it could drop farther from here. So what to think in this situation, and am I selling hoping to buy back cheaper? Well, I'm going to get into that. So let's go ahead and get the party started. Join me, Rainmakers. So it's days like today that we're reminded why crypto is not for the faint of heart, because there are hard days like this. We're supposed to be right in the middle of a bull run, and yet we're seeing a really big retracement. It's not just a normal retracement, it's a bigger than normal retracement. Is it the worst retracement ever? No. But is it big enough to be scary, and there are lots of things going on so that new people are absolutely devastated watching this happen? That's pretty much the case, right? So this is exactly what blood in the streets looks like. This is exactly what blood in the streets feels like. This is exactly why your emotions are usually telling you sell, sell, sell is going to keep going down. And why it usually doesn't work out so well when we follow what our emotions are saying. So let me bring in the charts here. This is Bitcoin versus the US dollar just on the daily time frame on Binance. We're able to see this is the all-time high that it hit at just around $65,000. And look at that. I drew out the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom here. Now, this is the bottom that happened the 11th of March, 2020. The last time that we had major, even bigger than this, blood in the streets. We were supposed to be on an uphill trajectory from there, and then coronavirus caught everyone off guard and businesses off guard, and just the extent of how ravaging it was on the economy really took hold, and people started to realize how bad it was going to hit the economy, and there was massive blood in the streets. Well, historically looking, what was the best time to buy? Yeah, when there was massive blood in the streets. So is now a great time to buy? Chances are yes. The chances are very strong that are yes. But who knows? Look at this, how it's bouncing off this major support line. And there's previous support right around here. So that was resistance. And then it busted through that. And it's come right down to this support line. Now, it could break through. And if it does, it might even come down somewhere in here. Or it could come all the way down here to 28 or 29,000 in that range. Is that going to happen? I don't know. If it does, my personal opinion is the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And I will be selling some things that I don't want to be selling in order to buy. Because it's just too early for this cycle to be over, barring something bigger than Elon Musk tweeting negative things about Bitcoin, which then sparked a sell-off, which then sparked further sell-offs, and, long orders getting canceled out and called in, and just all the things that created, which creates its own self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And it's brought it down a bunch. I mean, shoot, we're 33% lower than this, and we hit a 38.2 Fibonacci retracement from this high, which is actually a strong, good, normal correction. So this is actually buy zone number one. So for those that are looking for amazing buys and you're like, man, I want to buy cheap, this is what buying cheap looks like. Now, will it drop further than this? This is why smart investors often call this buy zone number one, because they buy here and then they might even buy here, and then they might even buy more here. And so that's just how investors think. Now, if you're new to crypto and you thought that crypto was magic, you're finding that there isn't magic to it, that it's hard to be here because when you have emotional days like this they impact you. And especially the newer you are, they're very impactful and you can't stop thinking about it. I remember what it was like to be new and to watch everything I had put in there just tank. And I didn't put in more money than I could afford to lose, but I put in right up to that point. And so it was hard seeing days like this. And so now I've been in the space for 4 years. I'm a little bit numb to days like this. In fact, I look forward to days like this because I find ways to reposition some things so that I can buy more. Because so often, like what happened here, and this was a bad day for me, I had a very low leverage long that got totally liquidated. I lost 1.3 Bitcoin that day. That was a bad day. And, I thought I was pretty safe on such a low leverage long because we're at the beginning of a bull market. And I learned, there's just not enough that I understand to really be super successful trading on leverage because, so I just made the conscious decision that I am not going to be trading on leverage until I've got 6 solid years trading spot under the belt. And so I've only got 4 years trading spot and only about 2.5 years understanding the charts and analysis and technical analysis. So I still have a long ways to go before I'm going to be back to leverage trading. And the reason is because days like this just wreck you when you're leverage trading. They're hard when you're spot trading because it's hard to see your portfolio fall, especially if you were buying Bitcoin up here. And a lot of the altcoins, their patterns look similar to this. So it's hard watching that. Now, if you're leverage trading, you get liquidated. If you're spot trading, it just means usually you have to be patient. Because the great thing about cryptocurrency is even if this is the end of the bull market, and I strongly think that it is not even close to the end of this bull market, but even if I'm wrong on that, and it is, usually you just have to be patient for 3 years, and then what you have is worth far more. So if you're trading on leverage, you get burnt. If you're trading spot, you just get to be patient, right? So I'm liking this. Let me share with you, a little bit of past. Now, I went back to 2013 cycle. And notice in 2013, we had this massive, massive climb from all the way here at the beginning of January. We were around $14, and then it went to almost 200, close to $280 at 271. Then it came all the way back. If you want to see a real retracement that probably scared the bejeebies out of everyone, this is a real scary retracement because that busted right through the 38.2 all the way back almost to the 88.6. Now that is a crazy retracement. It did wick down below it, but really most of it settled at the 78.6. Before then, going back up, and then actually came back, touched this one more time at that 78.6, and then went up. Now, should we be so lucky? Am I selling what I have to try to hope for that? I've tried that before. It didn't work out for me enough that I don't trade that way personally. Whatever decisions you make, because this isn't financial advice, you get to make whatever decisions you're going to. Because if it did come down to 78.6, should we be so lucky, that is going to be $17,000 Bitcoin. What will happen if it comes down there is I'm going to liquidate some real estate and other things, and I'll be buying there, right? That would be a happy day. Not happy for my existing portfolio, which will get wrecked in the short term. Happy for my long-term portfolio because, man, that is a dream price. Stinks of all the things that we bought up here and all the trading we did up here. Could have seen it coming. But who would have known that Elon Musk would all of a sudden decide that Bitcoin uses too much electricity and, and kick this whole thing off. And, personally, I think he's playing games because he can. He's a smart guy. There's a strategy behind what he's doing that I'm sure benefits him. And, he helped Bitcoin pump up sooner than it should be. And so you can't destroy what you didn't create. So if he hadn't helped create some of this pump that's here, he couldn't have helped destroy it either. So essentially what we're seeing is the Elon Musk correction to the early pump that he helped create. Does that make sense? And so it's rough going through this, and my words don't necessarily give you consolation, only to help you, except to help you understand this is normal. When you're playing in the crypto space, this is definitely big boy space. And so, like big boys and girls, you put your, as Ivan on Tech says, your big boy and big girl pants on because it's rough weathering through this. And what I do see is I see some people get frustrated. They sell everything and they quit the space. And that's okay. They can do that. I would call that a million or a multi-million dollar mistake because this is where so much wealth can be created. And you just weather these kind of things. Now, this is also why I tell people not to trade on leverage till they have 6 years trading, successful spot trading experience, because this kind of stuff will just wreck your long positions. Now, if you were smart, you had some stop losses in and you didn't get hurt too bad. But if you did not, you most likely got liquidated on this type of retracement, and that is painful. You know, Cardano still did well up until the last couple of days, and that's okay. It's retraced down to $2. Now, Cardano and Polkadot and Chainlink, some of these big plays, I think is where a lot of the focus is going to go. I called that before this happened, and then it ran up, and it's played out like that. It's just their turn, and for some reason, it kind of goes in cycles. I mean, Cardano's, 3 months away from being ready to have smart contracts. That's actually pretty quick here. Polkadot's parachain auctions are coming up. It's just their time in the spotlight, as they are going to be really good replacements in a lot of ways to Ethereum and take off some of the congestion as well as some of the high fees. Really looking forward to see how those come together. I did want to address FNX, which I'm invested in. Got hacked, it appears. And so they gave out some advice 2 years ago. They're still trying to figure out what happened. My guess is there's some kind of hack. Maybe somebody found a way to duplicate their tokens or something. The price absolutely got wrecked. Went down like 90-something%. They ask that you withdraw all funds from all pools where possible. And the reason you do this is because people can if they're able to mint fake tokens, my guess is that's what they're doing, or duplicate tokens, they're able to then pump these into certain things, and essentially it's going to wreck your position in them. So they're saying withdraw if you're staked in any pools where you have FNX and say Ethereum, or Ether, go ahead and withdraw. All right. Refrain from buying current FNX tokens on exchanges. You just wait this out. We saw this happen to Paid. Paid had a quick recovery from this, and they made it right by everyone, and their price quickly recovered. My guess is FinNexus will follow their blueprint, but we'll see. Some of my FNX exposure came through Zookeeper, where I'm staked in the liquidity pool. And now they did shut down the bridge so that people couldn't bridge these fake things over to the WAN chain network. Thank goodness they should close down that bridge pretty quick. And so they shut down, WANSwap and Zookeeper as far as anything being able to happen on them. It seemed like it was still giving us our interest in stuff. But they quickly shut off that bridge till they could specifically shut off the FNX token, so that these duplicate tokens cannot be bridged over to the WAN chain and contaminate the WAN chain ecosystem. So great job to the WAN chain team and the WANSwap team. Thank you for taking such quick action to protect this environment. Good work. I do love this. So red days, if you haven't kept up on Zookeeper or know what Zookeeper is and WANSwap, you want to watch my video on it. I love this thing. It brings me daily passive income. It allows me upside exposure with appreciation, especially on some of the pairs, as well as gives me really good rewards on staking to these pools. And so it's absolutely been fun. Zookeeper, they did kind of gamify it in some ways, and they have some really cool NFTs that you can get. For example, you can see this NFT associated with this pool for me. I've got a chocolate sundae melt, and the reward is plus 17.16% yield. as well as a minus 4.36% lockup time. So that has to do when you add lockup time to it, it increases your yield for zoo tokens. Well, so this decreases that overall time. It's a benefit to you. Zookeeper, if you haven't looked into it, it's fun. It's got a lot of similarities to QuickSwap on Matic or Polygon. The rewards here are better, and so I have a lot more here than I do on Matic's QuickSwap. I have just a little bit on Matic's QuickSwap just so I could see and play around with it the other day and see if it's pretty much the same, which it is pretty much the same. Now, I know a lot of focus has gone to Matic, which is fantastic. I'm very happy for them. I don't understand that Matic has better technology than Wanchain from the standpoint of Matic's done a good job at focusing on games, and really that's been the space that they've been really pushing, is helping all those games that normally would go on the Ethereum network come over to Matic for the low fees. Wanchain has fantastic bridges and cross-chain compatibility, and has really done a lot with that. In fact, they have some new things that have come up recently that are amazing so that you can bridge from the Ethereum network to, say, Wanchain and other bridges for really cheap. Love where their technology is going. They're absolutely hitting it with what they promised to do when they came out in 2017. They were one of the hottest ICOs back then, but most people have forgotten about them, which is okay. Their tech is out of this world and fantastic. And it's okay that it hasn't hit mass awareness yet, because it's allowed people like me that love the hidden gems to accumulate a ton before it hits like complete public awareness. All right, guys, those are my thoughts overall in this market. Am I selling? No. If I had known it was going to drop, I would have pulled some of my positions out to USDT, USDC. Yeah, but that's if I had a crystal ball. But if we all had crystal balls, we'd make every trade perfectly. So I'm not selling now. I haven't been selling to USDT or USDC. I'm just been looking for good opportunities for some additional purchases. With that said, I shared with you the other day, I was talking about good buys, right? And so EOS was a really good buy. I'm hoping this drops further because I love great buys. That's what I'm really good at in life, is strong acquisitions. And so they've been heading down on this, and it seems to have broken this trend line a little bit. And, I hope they have further retrace from here. I know the market cap's all the way down to 51 million, which is fantastic for a project with such potential. But their fully diluted valuation is 818 million. I would love to see them still cheaper as they hit that lull after they came out, because when they came out, they hit really high numbers. Let's see this. So they hit almost $3, and so they retraced some of that, but still I'm hoping more retraces, because this is the time I like to be stocking up on things. Same thing with shadows. I have been picking up shadows at really cheap prices. 76 cents is an amazing price. Their overall market cap has come down to 7.2 million. Now, keep in mind that only 1/4 their supply is out, so essentially that's like a 30 million market cap if all their tokens were fully out there. And they are derivatives on Polkadot. Now, there are a lot fighting for that space. Shadows has good team, good tech, and some good partnerships, so they have good chance to hit a much, much bigger market cap, even if they don't end up dominating that space. They've got a lot of room to grow from here. So for those of you who are looking for good buys and everything and good pickups, I mean, this is what it felt like when Cardano dropped to 1.7 cents and 1.8 cents. This is exactly the feeling, that, oh my gosh, the markets could keep going down, and so this is the reason why so few did buy at that price, because they don't go against what their feelings tell them. And when your feelings are telling you to sell, almost always that's the best time to buy. And when your feelings are telling you, oh my gosh, mortgage the house or sell the house, sell everything I own in order to buy a lot more, that's usually the best time to be selling. And it's just the way it is. This is why there's investing out there and why so many people aren't rich from investing. They haven't learned to listen to their feelings and then do the opposite. So you don't turn off those feelings. Listen to them. Listen to them. Just don't do what they're telling you to do. And it comes down to as simple as this. My mentor in real estate investing that was worth over $100 million, he told me that really being successful was as simple as this. He looks at what 95% of people are doing and he does the opposite. And okay, maybe that's a little oversimplified, but when there's panic days like this, the smart and savvy investors are looking for what the best buys are, and they're buying. Why? Because this kind of market you pray for and you don't get to see that often. All right, I do want to thank all of you for joining me. I'm going to leave you with a song for all you rainmakers out there. Rainmakers are the people that subscribe to my channel. They like every one of my videos, and they help growing the bigger vision of I'm an investor myself. I did start this channel so that I could have better reach to the projects to get better information. So everyone who subscribes to the channel, it helps grow the reach of the channel of me being able to speak with all those top projects, getting good information from them and their team. And so that was the reason I started this channel. I've got my own money. I make my own money through investing. It wasn't about creating this in order to make money from like YouTube videos. It was more about increasing the reach so I could make better investing decisions, not only for myself, but I could share with you what I was learning so that it could help you. Even though none of this is financial advice, the information of speaking, the ability to have like the different people on speed dial and call them and find out what's going on has real tangible benefits. And just as being an investor myself in this, I realized I wasn't going to have that reach unless I could find a way to create a channel that added value to your life. So you felt like subscribing and joining me on this bigger vision, and I hope you do. I do thank you for joining me. Manuel is going to take it away from here.
Success is falling, flowing like rain. The timing's right, we're getting paid. Come on, rainmakers, let's make this happen.